How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, I think you can hear me now. I can hear myself.
Doing pretty good.
Really appreciate the crowd tonight. This is such a special time for us here in Granbury, and we appreciate everybody coming. This is going to be a night, I believe, might be historic when it comes to Lake Granbury. I think it's a great night for the residents and the county and the city, everybody participate and to express what their concerns are, especially with the lake out here. Since there is a good crowd tonight, we've got all the city council here tonight. We've got, I think, all the county commissioners, most of them are here tonight, and we do appreciate their attendance. And we need to make sure, since there is a large crowd tonight, what we're going to try to do at the very end, if somebody has a couple of questions, we'll probably allow that. But we want to try to keep it to a minimum and try to move forward as we go into this. But we sure appreciate everybody being here and the time you've taken out of your day to come and visit out here. The first thing I want to do, my name is Joe Williams. I'm president of the Lake Granbury Waterfront Association and Friends. And we emphasize Friends because although our organization started with waterfront owners, we also have many members and residents in Hood County who are also members of our organization. If you would like to join us, you can go easily online to savelakegranbury.org, and you can go on there and join that way. It's a very easy way. Use PayPal. You can also go ahead and if you want to mail us, it's $35 a person, or if you have a business, it's $100. I want to just get pass that up front so that we wouldn't forget about it. And we can get you some more information as you leave, and you can ask me or all our other board of directors here for LGWOA. First thing I want to do, let's go ahead and bow our heads in prayer and for a moment, please. Dear Lord, thank you for this great day today, what you have made, and we sure will rejoice and be glad in it. As we gather with all these collective minds today that are present, please, Lord, let it be in our hearts that all the work to be done will be done in your glory. We know our water resources are all a gift from you, from your hands, and we pray, Lord, that we all show to be good stewards of such a precious gift. As we leave here today, please be with all of us in our travels so we can return safely to our homes and family. Amen. I would like to, real quickly, as we move along here, I want to introduce, I know all our steering committee over here. First, we have Bryce Johnson, who is vice president. Just wave your hand here. We have Tracy Johnson here, who is treasurer. And then Judy McHugh, who is our last year's president, and then also is current historian, is also here. And Lori Sweeney, she's done, I don't think she's come in, I haven't seen her tonight and stuff, she's our secretary, so if you want to meet, these, later tonight, that would be really good. First thing I want to do, of course, the whole objective tonight is that we are in the early stages of looking at doing a Hood County economic impact study in regards to the water levels in Lake Granbury. So we are obviously in the early stages of that, and so this is all new. I think this is all new to us. I know Wayne McKeffin, who will speak a couple minutes, can refer a little bit back to the city side of it, but we really want to get Hood County completely involved. Hood County has about 50,000 residents, and so the low levels of the lake, if they continue, we think will actually impact probably all 50,000. I think the population of Granbury is about 8,000. So you're talking about, about 15% of the population in Granbury is of Hood County. So it's really important that we include Hood County completely as a whole in the economic impact study. So to move along here, I think I have a better person that I think can speak a little bit more about the economic impact study. But before I do that, we had something important at Judy here. We had something come across our desk today that we want to share with you, and Judy would like to do that. I think it's really important that she share this with you. So, Judy.
Thank you, Joe.
Before I share that really important information with you, I wanted to let you know that we're going to be passing around a couple of sign-in sheets. I'd like for you to sign them, and if you're interested, one of the things that we're trying to accomplish tonight, of course, is to share important information with you, and also to put together a committee of people that will actually be the working committee to develop the economic impact plan. So I have two of these, and the pins are inside the handout, inside here. So when I hand them around, please sign your name and phone or email, and if you're interested in being part of that committee, just put a star by your name or something like that. And I'll do that after I read this very important information. Those of you who have been paying attention all this time, probably most of you have probably heard us talking about several issues with the water level and the BRA, and one of the big issues that we felt, and we hear all the time from members, is that the BRA doesn't seem to ever be held accountable for their actions. They make decisions that affect our lives, and all they do, I mean, that's what they do. They make decisions about water, and it's very centered on that. Could I get everyone to turn their cell phones off, please? Or down? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. One of the things that we have been looking forward to, our Representative Jim Keffer and Senator Birdwell have joined us in sharing our belief that perhaps the BRA needs to be looked at, and part of that involves being put on the Sunset Review Committee, which some of you have probably heard that term, and that was something that we've really been looking forward to, because that would give us an idea if is it us, are we crazy, or are they doing a great job? And well, we don't think so, and we're pretty sure they need to be looked at a little closer. So, to that end, I'm going to read you something we got today. Excuse me. State Representative Jim Keffer and State Senator Brian Birdwell filed bills yesterday aimed at increasing transparency and oversight of river authorities in Texas. The provisions of House Bill 2362 and Senate Bill 1092 would require river authorities to undergo a financial audit by the Legislative Budget Board and the State Auditor's Office are two independent, and a performance review, and a performance review by the Legislative Budget Board. That's good. The Legislative Budget Board and the State Auditor's Office are two independent agencies overseen by legislative committees and charged with reviewing the efficiency and or lack thereof, no, they don't put that in there, and finances of government operations. Excuse me. River authorities are regional water management entities. Collectively, they hold a large portion of the state's water rights. Well, we know that. Consequently, decisions of river authorities have a profound impact on the development, production, distribution, and conservation of water statewide. The concern for an adequate water supply for the future economic growth and well-being of our state is paramount, said Keffer. We have a commitment to make sure every decision by one of these agencies is in our citizens' best interest.
Amen.
How about that? Yeah. Texas river authorities are responsible for controlling our most precious natural resource, our water, said Birdwell. Considering the condition of our statewide water resources, I believe that now more than ever, Texans deserve to know that these river authorities are functioning with as much financial accountability and internal efficiency as possible.
Amen.
There again, how about that? In addition, Senator Birdwell and Representative Keffer filed bills that would require river authorities, you're going to love this, who collect dock fees to reimburse those fees to the owners during times when the docks are out of service due to the water level. Didn't I get the best job reading this? Well, for more information related to these bills, you can log on to www.capital.state.tex.us. And obviously, we are extremely pleased and gratified to have those people speaking for us and filing those bills, because that's where a good part of that energy needs to go. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate being the one to be able to share that wonderful information. The other thing, Joe touched on this, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce Bryce Johnson, who's our Vice President of the LGWA and Friends. And he's going to speak a little bit more about the specifics of economic impact study. We are familiar with the process, but it's a little bit different. I mean, Wayne McCaffin, who's the city manager and financial manager of Granbury, excuse me, I got all choked up. He did an economic impact study for Granbury, and that was an excellent piece of information for all of us to have, and now we've realized the importance of that, but we want to have one for Hood County, and that will involve more people, and Bryce is going to elaborate on that just a little bit. So, and at that time, I'm going to start passing around the sign-up sheet. So you can either just sign your name and your contact information, but if you want to be directly involved in that committee formation, or have input into that, please star your name or asterisk or something, okay? Okay. Thank you.
I wish I had a letter from the governor or from the president or somebody that was even more glowing than that. But just by a show of hands, how many of you are members of our group of Lake Granbury? Look at this. You see that? Fantastic. In fact, if this is any indication of the interest, which we know there's great interest, obviously, standing room only tonight, coming in on the evening of the 16th, which is in a couple of weeks. Is that right? A week and a half. The big celebration on the square, we've got our town hall meeting at 6 o'clock. Tonight's meeting is a little bit of a teaser for that. It's much more about rallying the troops. In fact, really the purpose for having us all here tonight, getting a chance to meet our members, getting a chance to have a little fellowship with all of you, but is really to define the group of people that are going to help us ultimately, as a community, ultimately fund this economic impact report. My wife and I are newcomers. We've been here a year. We've been coming down here for the last 10 years or so from the Metroplex, and it didn't take more than about 2 weeks for our neighbors just down the street from us to get us very actively involved and plugged into the community. And here we are a year later, standing in front of all of you. I'm not all-knowing. I don't have really any answers as it relates to the issues that we're dealing with tonight. I certainly have been involved and actively involved in the group. But I tell you what Judy just read has taken many, many, many hours and years of hard work. The empathy that I had for them, I've been in groups like this in other communities, to recognize 5 or 6 of you, right, over the years. Don't be shy. really pulling and dragging and encouraging and doing all they could with it, just a very small group of folks. I guess the point of that is, well, first of all, thank you for your hard work and efforts in getting us to the point that we actually had a bill that's official down in Austin, once again. So first of all, there are really 3 points of us being here tonight. We met at 6. I know everybody has had a long day. People want to get home to have dinner. Really, it's to rally the troops. It's to bring us all together. This is not our meeting in terms of the people that are here holding the microphones. This is our meeting. I mean, big O, big U, big R. Our meeting being Granbury. It is our opportunity to come together in, whether you're a newcomer, whether you're somebody that's been around here from day one for most of your life, from business owners, from home builders, to talk to the boat folks that came in here earlier. I can't imagine what it would be to own a boat operation or a marina or a restaurant on the lake, any kind of a business. What we want to do is, again, bring everybody together. We have great power in our experience, in our abilities, in our resources, in our ideas. I mean, really, it's been 6 of us for the last year that have been meeting on a regular basis and encouraging those of you that raise your hands. That $35, you would not believe what $35 will do times a lot of folks. You may have seen a billboard on the way in on 377. Some of that $35 is your contribution to getting the news out and getting the message out. Actually, through a neighbor of mine that works for Lamar Advertising, not to drop any names, but I tell you what, God brought him into my life and said, Bryce, we can print up a billboard for the cost of the vinyl, and because you're an organization that's promoting good works, you're a nonprofit organization, we're going to allow you to put that billboard up around the community, and we're going to take good care of you and be able to help you communicate your message. It's just through active conversation that happens every day. In fact, my wife Tracy was at one of the shops off the square today, and she had a great conversation with 3 of the ladies there, and I think you probably recruited all 3 of them. So first and foremost, we're here to rally the troops, get you involved. Yes, you can make a difference. Yes, your $35 does make a difference. And again, this is our meeting. It's not any one singular organization within the community. We just happen to have, I guess, 6 years of real passionate leadership, I guess is probably the best way to say it, including many of you in the room here today, that we're stepping off together. And like Joe said earlier, I hope we can look back at this as maybe it being a historic event for all of us. Secondly, and probably just as important, none of these really are in any particular order in terms of importance, but the need for an economic impact study. Just so you know, the wheels are in motion. Judy just read the letter. There are a number of things going on in Austin, thanks to our city leaders that we've developed great relationships with and great trust with. We appreciate all of you that are here tonight and appreciate your representation. And because of that, they've pushed the issue enough to where some of the big state agencies may come back to us and say, all right, what do you got? In terms of what factual information do you have that you've got an issue, that you've got a problem, that you have a concern? Otherwise, it's my emotion, it's your emotion, it's what we see every day. What we need to do is, as a family here, is collectively come together to fund a report, to fund a study, where it takes all of our emotion out of it. I know one of our representatives, in fact, not just one of them, all of our representatives, everybody has a need to satisfy their constituents and respond in a way that's pleasing to whoever they're talking to. Well, instead of having any kind of emotion and saying, well, this is the way I feel, or this is what I think, to be able to have a third-party outside organization, whoever it is, and we're not going to determine who that is tonight, but to be able to have that organization come back to us and say, here's the report, here's the factual information, here's how it's affecting not only Granbury, not only waterfront owners, but everybody in the county. And I mean everybody. We've had conversations like that day after day as we've gone out to the different shops and had dinner and spent time with people at church in our neighborhoods. And most of the time we get the response back, it's a waterfront issue. It's not. And Wayne has done a fantastic job. If anybody was there at the June town hall meeting at the convention center, that was an aha moment for everybody. That was an aha moment, in fact, for the BRA, to realize that this wonderful community that we're a part of has got their act together and has a message and is willing to really communicate to whomever we need to communicate the message of we need help and we need it now. And then thirdly, and again, just as important, we have great experience, we have great emotion, we have great talent and ability in this room. No matter how long you've been here, we need you. We need you to help communicate the message clearly and effectively. Joe and Judy have done a fantastic job of putting together great information on the website. If you're a Facebooker, we're on Facebook. We have great banter. Joe loves to banter with the BRA. If you ever follow those posts on Facebook, there's great information in there where you can really follow the string of communication. We've got a website full of information, full of great data and support to, again, communicate fact. I guess I can't say enough that we want to take the emotion out of what we're doing, as much as we're emotional. So join us, please. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Wayne here in a minute. I had the great pleasure of meeting and getting to know Joey Grisham, the economic development leader here in town. And if you haven't had a chance to support or encourage him, do so. He's doing a great job for the community and has a specific need for this report. When we started talking about it, we've been talking about it for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months. When we talked about it, it was just over a cup of coffee, hour and a half conversation. He said, we've done an economic development report that I think it was Texas A&M that did it. It doesn't make any difference where it came from or what the need was at that point. We need an economic impact study that talks about the impact of what's going on in our community based on what's happening out here. So I wish he could have been here. In fact, I was going to hand the microphone over to Joey. His wife was unfortunately not feeling well and had to take care of her tonight. So I'm going to pass it on to Wayne and say thank you again very much. Thank you for welcoming my family to a wonderful community, and I look forward to doing great work with all of you.
Well, I was just asked to speak tonight just to sort of rehash some of the things that's happened. Let me say before we start, your city council members are here, and they're all here, okay? And the interesting thing about that, because of the Open Meetings Act, we didn't post it 72 hours ahead of time, so they're here to listen, and they have to listen. They can't speak tonight, but it's just part of the process. And we apologize for that, but they're here to hear what you have to say. And the fact they're all here, if they weren't all here, we wouldn't have had a problem. They're all here, and they're very committed. They've been very committed to this process. It's really great to see the community pulled together. It's amazing the crowd that's here. They just asked me to say about the economic impact study. It is important. One of my degrees is in economics, a master's degree, and I know the impact that it can have, that it can show that what is it can quantify, like you said, the emotion. And what brought forth the initial study of economics is, you know, I am able to talk to a lot of people within the community, especially within Granbury, and the emotion was just intense. And I thought about it, and I said, you know, there's got to be a way, being a CPA, there's got to be a way to quantify that intensity. Because the only thing that having worked with governmental agencies, they don't listen to emotion. They listen to quantification of what you're trying to get across. And so what was prepared earlier, and some of you may have seen it, it was simply a comparison of the impact of 1,000 square feet of water, acre-feet of water, basically compared to the other reservoirs. And it was obvious that most of the density of the economic value was around a small lake, Lake Granbury, with only 128,000 acre-feet, compared to, say, Possum Kingdom, who had 550 acre-feet. And the population and economic density was so much higher, and you could quantify then why the intensity was much greater. And that's the kind of analysis that you can do, and it had an impact. You said, oh, okay, we get it. It's not just emotion, it's actual economic reason. And so, but that analysis was not enough, okay? And I told them initially that was a generalization of a comparison of reservoirs. And what we need to present to them is actual documented evidence that in fact this economic impact will occur. And so those types of detailed analysis of 1,000 feet off the shore and how many businesses, how much ad valorem value you have, those are the kind of things that will also tell a story that will relate to the governmental agencies, what they need to do. Now, these studies are not cheap, and so the committees that will be formed here will need to be doing some fundraising, and it's something that needs to be presented. We are at the process now where the TCEQ, which the council and county representatives went down and presented to them, they're reviewing this BRA lake management plan. And right now, we cannot have a lot of input to them. With our state senator, Brian Birdwell, and our representative Keffer, they arranged a meeting for us to have input to their staff, which was very unusual, and we appreciate that. That was really good support by our representatives. But right now, where we need to do is to continue to do these types of things that you see, that you're hearing in the news, and prepare a documentation, and be prepared for sometime in July or August, whenever there will begin public input into the plan. And then we will be able to present this plan. And the city of Granbury has hired a lawyer. His name is Ken Ramirez. He's well known within the water issues. He helped Austin. He's from Austin, and he helped in terms of the town lake and some of the others to resolve issues with the lower Colorado River Basin. Has a lot of expertise, and he's well known. And he will be able, this will give him material to present in the contested hearings that we will be listed as an interested party. You had heard that you were being requested if you'll review some of the information as to making application to be an interest party. Each individual can send in their request, and I don't have that address with me, but it was in the paper, and we can certainly get it out as soon as. You'll put it in again. Okay, Kathy Cruz will put it in again. That's real important for everybody to sign up as an interested party, because these judges are going to be listening to the people, and this is when we can actually present non-technical information. When we went down to TCEQ, we found out TCEQ is really looking at just technical information. And economic information and other issues that we're going to present were not actually being looked at by their group, okay? But in this public presentation, they are going to be able to listen to other than just technical. And the lawyer that I'm referred to, Kim Ramirez, was very happy that we were looking to prepare an economic impact. That's another item that he can use in his presentation. So I would encourage everyone to be supportive of this and to help in the funding, however way, any organization you might have. We feel that that's going to be a real asset to our cause. Now, the city of Granbury is interested in this because of the ad valorem impact and the financial impacts to the city, to our residents, to our taxpayers. This would have a tremendous impact. With the lowering of the valuation, the tax revenues would go down. And yes, we could cut back on some expenses, but the tax rates would go up normally, not just city, but county, school. And the way it's, and I thought it was interesting, the point we were trying to make was that it impacts everyone. Coming from a person who handles tax rates a lot, okay? Because I actually help in the setting of them. Tax rates are funny. You can't just assign a tax rate to an area within an entity or within a city or county. So what's going to happen if, in fact, we were not successful in this? Valuations on lake property would go down, but ironically, the taxes paid by the lake owners or the lakefront owners would go down, and the non-lake owners whose valuation remains the same but their rate goes up, their taxes go up and the lakefront taxes go down. So it will impact everybody in Hood County. And that's what you need to know. I saw something like cheers and jeers, and the person just didn't understand that, okay? And so tell your neighbors, whether you live on the lake or not, you've got a real interest in this. Because the reason we have very low tax rates are two things, at least in the city of Granbury. And that is that we have significant lakefront property with higher valuations, and we have sales tax that earns twice as much as our ad valorem value. Now, if our businesses that are related to lake value go down as well and they don't have as many sales, we're double hit, just like the county is, where our ad valorem values are going down, our ad valorem tax rates are going down, and our sales tax rates are going down. As the lake goes, so goes Granbury. Let me tell you, that is the stark truth, and that's the financial truth. So we need to be involved with this. We need to fight it with. They leave us no option. She's right. BRA has no. I have seen no sympathy. Okay. For any of this. Sympathy is not their strong suit, to say the least. And so we need to fight this. That's about all I have to say.
Well, we know you've got a lot to think about, and Joe is going to speak with Todd Garner, who has some background information about the economic impact study. So we were going to ask him if he would come forward and just share with you the information that he has about that process and a little bit of how much it might cost, so we have an idea about that. And I also wonder, what did he say, Joe? Okay, well, I was also going to, we were going to ask someone else, but someone else is ill, so we were going to ask someone else who's recovering from...
I can answer basic questions. I mean,
Yeah, why don't you come up?
Okay.
You'll know more than I do. This is Todd Garner.
Todd Garner with the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, he's over on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, and maybe he can give us a little bit more information since Joey's not here tonight.
Thank you, Todd.
yeah, I didn't plan on speaking tonight, so, but I do have basically quotations, proposals from two groups. One is the University of North Texas, and it is anywhere from a very basic task one $11,000 impact study all the way up to over $50,000. That's from the University of North Texas. Ray Perryman, who's based out of Waco, Dr. Perryman, probably some of you have heard of him. His proposal was $78,700. So, but you guessed it, the big one is is less. I actually don't have I don't have a proposal from Texas A&M, but I do have the one that they did at Lake Conroe near Houston, and their cost was $142,000. So, and it was an 18-month study, which is pretty long. They said they took 7 people, and it took them 18 months to do all the data research, but they did it on sales tax. I hear Aggie jokes over there. Sales tax, ad valorem taxes, and total impact analysis. So, are there any questions related to the impact
Is there
studies?
anyone in the room who can volunteer to serve as this?
Good.
What we pretty well had decided tonight, what we'd like to try to do is get into working formation, a committee, and to not only look deeper into what the cost of the study is, but obviously how long it's going to take. The key is how long it's going to take. If it takes 18 months, by the time that some of the decisions that need to be made will already be made. So these are the things that we're going to have to look at. So, maybe we can do a study that takes a shorter period of time, but still has an impact. Timing's of the essence. We really need to have something within about 6 months or less. And so this is what the committee needs to discover is that. And so what I would suggest is that I know that there was some sign-up sheets going around, but anybody that wants to sign up, we can get those sign-up sheets back. We have a big crowd tonight. I'm sure it didn't get to everybody. But why don't we do this over in the blank corner over here is anybody that wants to sign up to be on that committee. Here's my suggestion though. We really need city, county, chamber, we need organizations and representatives from those organizations, because 70,000 sounds like a lot. You got 14 times 5 businesses or organizations, it's over. So it's not like we can't do this as a community. That's why we're doing this. And I think we should probably, Conroe's been, I read that study today. I didn't know about it today on Conroe, and they were having the same problems for a little bit different reason. And I didn't know they spent that much money, but here little old Conroe spent that money. We can do this. We have some commitments already, and so we just need to finish it off. So one thing I want to say. We're here about the economic impact study, and I know when I get emails and people walk in the door, we talk about docks, we talk about low water, we talk about this impact. There are so many dimensions when it comes to low water levels. Everybody has their own take of it hurts this or hurts that. We know all the way across the board, everywhere. The whole county up and down the Brazos River is affected. So everybody has their own story. We love hearing your story and how, we love this to be a family place to come and visit Lake Granbury and stuff like that. And we want to, tonight try to keep that to a minimum. But bring your story on March 16th at the town hall, because we want to hear it. We're going to have a lot more people than this. We will fill the conference center, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And we want to hear that. But tonight, we want to try to leave everything. I think what we're going to do is leave this open to questions. I know the city cannot ask questions. What about the county? No? Got a quorum. So,
No, it's okay, we can talk, we're not, we can't make decisions on it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
What I would like to do is, if Daryl doesn't mind, or if Steve, I know Steve, or one of you won't mind, if this is a county thing. This is a county, where we've got to get the whole community together in the county, and we really want to find the county leaders there that will lead us to this impact study. So obviously, we would like to get you guys started on that. So, Daryl, do you want to come up?
Yeah, for just a second.
Okay, there you go.
Daryl's going to come up.
All right.
Daryl Cockerham.
Keep it short, that's it.
Oh, I'm supposed to clarify, thank you so much. That's right, you can sit in front of me, sir. We're supposed to clarify it's $35 per family, not per person, per family. Everybody got that?
For membership.
For membership, yeah. For one. Okay. Daryl Cockerham, it's all yours.
Thank you.
One of the things that, I tell you what, I was very disappointed today when I read a cheer and jeer that said, "Oh, you rich people need to quit crying." And
Whining.
That's
the word they use.
yeah, whining. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know, when we went to Washington D.C. on this clean air thing, what we said was that it will disproportionately affect the poorer people in the county rather than the richer people in the county. And that's exactly what will happen here, is because, you know, you heard what Wayne said about the taxes. And, you know, the people that don't live on the lake, the people that live, even if they live on the lake and they live north of, up on 150, up on 51, if their taxes go up, it's going to hurt them worse than it would somebody who is maybe a little more wealthy. And I think that's a good point that needs to be made in this impact study. And the people that in Lipan, Toller, they do not realize that this is going to affect them. And one way you can expand this crowd is to let them know that their taxes are going up. And put that model in there. You know, if you drop it, you know, $1 million, $5 million, how many taxes is that on your taxes? Their rates won't go, I mean, their evaluations won't go down, but so their tax rate will go up and then their taxes will go up. So how many cents do you want their taxes to go up? And so that's a way to recruit them in. The more, the better on this. And Steve, do you have anything to say?
I think it's important, Darrell, that you tell them, don't expect the membership to write the letter. I got mine back, I was telling Nen a while ago, I got mine back today. Kathy did the story about 2 weeks ago when we got back from Austin, and she put the chief clerk's number in there, and I did one individually as well as the court did it, and mine came back from TCEQ today. Okay, so what when Representative Keffer and Senator Burgle got our meeting, one thing that left that meeting was the TCEQ people said it would be very impressive if we want to use, other than technical issues, if we get 52,000 letters down there, they'll take note of that. Okay, so that's the thing. Everyone needs to write a very short letter, and I believe when I talked to Joe over the weekend, by the meeting at the 16th, you're going to have a template, and all they have to do is fill out. Isn't that correct? We talked about that?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, one of the things I want to say is a guy told me today, a guy was in his 80s and his family's been here since day one. I mean, you know, they came here right after.
JC asked a good question. It came back meaning they acknowledged that they received my letter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kathy.
Yeah. Return the letter?
What you're going to do, we did the same thing when we fought the sewer plant out on Rucker Court. The SOA attorneys will look at all this. What you're doing is TCEQ is going to let you know they received your notification that you're interested to be notified to see if you have enough evidence to be an interesting party. So that, don't expect the water group, the city, or the county, everyone send a letter in off the template or off of Kathy's article. And that way each individual household will be notified that you will be notified in June, July, or August when we go to the hearing, and we'll go all back down there. And they actually said if everyone shows up that sends a letter, we'll probably have to move it somewhere, because when we went the first time on the bus load, we know how big that was. It wasn't big enough.
I hope they have to move it to
Sorry,
Memorial
yes.
Stadium. All right, well, anyway, go home and tell 10 people that to get involved in this. Go home, you know, tell the people, like, you know, you said that you go up to the stores, go, you know, everywhere you go and talk to people and tell them, it's our fight. It's our fight. Not my fight and not your fight, but it's our fight. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Darrell. Okay, so what the plan is, going from tonight, what we're going to do here in a few minutes after we wrap up, we're going to gather over in the corner. Anybody that's interested in getting in this on the committee, then come up and we'll sign up for it. And what we're going to plan on doing, we'll have everybody emails at that point. And what we're planning on doing is, I think about a week from tonight, right here, we'll come back with that committee. We'll have Joey Grissom here, who can give us a better idea of the impact study. I think Todd's done a good job. And then that way we can get an idea of cost and going forward. At the same time, we need to solicit developers, businesses, associations. I know our association will gladly put funds in. The county. We're going to have to go to the county commissioner's court and say, okay, we need some funds for this impact study. And they're on Tuesday morning. When are they next time, Darrell?
9 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Okay.
You better get on the agenda.
Okay, we'll get on the agenda, okay? Because this is how they need to be the leaders, and we need to help support them, to get that along. I want to make actually, I'm gonna open this to questions in just a minute, but I want to make a couple announcements. One of them is Tony Allen, why don't you stand up and tell about, for Mayor Pratt, that they're actually having an auction. Do you want this?
Nobody can hear me.
Okay.
First of all, it's the quietest I've ever seen a council since I've been here. Lynn Hewlett bet me $50 I'd slip and say something. So I'm not going to. Come March the 16th, we're going to be signed up, ready to fire. But here's the deal, folks. Our mayor in the city of Granbury had a massive stroke about 3 days after Christmas. Y'all might have seen him at the square. He's in a wheelchair. Has very little movement on his left side. Politically, Rick and I don't get along, but he's a human. He's got a heart just like we do. It could happen to any one of us at any day, any time. So we're having a fundraiser for him. It's going to be a fish fry. It's going to be March the 30th. It's a Saturday night before Easter. We're going to have $10 tickets. There's several people. Anybody in here has got tickets with you could raise your hand. There's several around here that has tickets. If y'all get them, they're $10 a piece. And even if you don't make it, we'd love for you to make it, because we're going to have an auction. We had Classic Chevrolet to give us a used car already. We're going to have. We've got 3 different trips that'll be in the paper here pretty quickly. We've got, Bob Cook gave us some beautiful, beautiful paintings. So there's going to be probably in the neighborhood about 15 to 20 items. Steve Berry's going to be doing the auction for us. He donated his time. And we'll probably have 75 to 100 silent auction. We're going to have a lot of fun. We've got bands that donated their time to us. We're going to have a good time out there. It starts at 5 o'clock. Should be over with by 9:30, 10. But we'd love for y'all to be there and help support Ricky, because it could be one of us tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Next, just real quick, I want to, if you didn't hear me earlier before, announce our March 16th Save the Lake Granbury Town Hall. This is going to be huge. Obviously, of course, we're going to have Wayne McKesson, City Manager, get up there and speak. Basically, this is an information meeting along with a little bit of fun. We're actually, if anybody knows singer-songwriter Sean Mitchell from, Granbury Live, he's going to be heading out the show, and he's going to go about the first 20 or 30 minutes. He's going to do a tribute to Lake Granbury. So we're going to have a little bit of fun first, and then we're going to get serious. And some of the things that Steve Berry talked about tonight on getting information to TCEQ, just like bureaucracy, sometimes it's kind of understanding. And I had to get clarification about 3 times, and I'm sure if I still understand it. Basically, though, and we'll have this on the 16th, basically what it is if you want to be an interested party to sow in TCEQ, you go online, has a place on there, and you can put in your comments. Interested party means that they're just going to keep you informed as to the process. It doesn't mean that you have party status. Party status means that you will actually go to the SOA hearing, and that'll be in about August, and that's where you might want to have an attorney, with you possibly, but the city, the county, associations will present their case to the SOAs as to why the VRA should not get anything, and I believe they should not get nothing. But we have to present our case. Here's a surprising thing that just, I know Wayne can relate to this and stuff. This is what's so surprising. The surprising thing is when you go down there and you want to talk about why you should not, why we wouldn't allow that, if it comes to the human factor, if it comes to the economics, they don't care. But the environment, oh no. You have an environmental problem, they do, they'll listen. So that kind of gives you a clue as to what kind of steps going forward we may want to take. A la golden apple, E. coli. So, sure, Exactly. So as this process goes forward and things, you'll start seeing, I know the city and the county we're gonna get it they're gonna get it under control about economics and stuff, but you might see us take a little bit different steps, so don't be surprised. And and it's because it's the way the process works. The goal of LGWA, protect and preserve Lake Granbury, that's whatever we have to do, that's what we'll do. So going forward, it should be a fun journey. All right, other than that, we'll open to questions real quick. Again, keep it to economic impact. If anybody has questions about or thoughts about it, has expertise, we open it there. So anybody have any questions? And then hopefully it's not to me, maybe it's somebody else. Anybody? Here we go.
One comment on the study. We need to really think seriously that we're talking about $80,000 plus, because Perriman did the economic development study for us previously, and he updated it.
Okay.
We paid $75,000 the first time. We paid $50,000 to update it.
Okay.
So we need to get that in our mind, and we need to start thinking about raising the money. And
Okay.
and of course, Perriman will have a little advantage because he's already got a lot of the background information that he can put together and use.
So you're familiar with the Perriman doing that
I was
work?
the one that, I was on the committee when we did the regional study,
Okay.
the $75,000 study.
Okay, what's a reasonable time frame?
Well, that's one advantage Perriman may have over some of the others, because he already has a lot of the historical data
All right.
that he can use. A lot of this data fits together.
All right.
And he's got a pretty good group. And I'm familiar with Perriman because he did a lot for us
Okay.
on the Economic Development Foundation before we set up the, whatever it's called now, the.
Okay, so you need to
ELC.
stand over here. Go ahead.
I put the same plug in for Ray Perriman, having worked
Okay.
with him on two previous occasions with gathering data for medical information for a 7-county area. This
Okay.
group is large, it moves quickly.
All right.
Makes a very large structure.
Okay, all right.
Will the BRA be represented at this March 16th town hall?
Well, you know what? I tell you what I'll do. I'll officially invite them. Would that help? Okay, all I know is they will make their presence known, and that's all I can say. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, truck's outside. There you go. Okay.
Can someone go to find the history? My mother and all her ancestors came here in 1853.
Right.
I moved here a month ago.
Right.
I don't know the history. How did we get
Okay.
in this shape? Where can I go to find out that?
It is a long process. I'm reading a book. I've been reading a book and stuff. That's the history of the BRA since 1938 to 1979. It's really interesting for the BRA aspect. So, are you talking about around the lake or the history of Granbury?
When the river was dammed and the lake was made in 1969.
Right.
What documents were signed? What
Right.
did we agree to?
Right.
How often did we agree to get raped?
Good turn. Here, Judy, come on. Did you want to answer that, or you have a question?
Well, no, I want to answer it because
Okay. Okay.
Well, the only way I know what was signed was, I bought a house that had been previously owned by two people. The first person to sign it was in 1996. And I didn't even know this. You buy a house, I was in love with it. It was a dream come true to get a house on the water in Texas for me. Well, when I started getting those bills from the BRA, at first it was okay because I had water. And then, when the water went away, and I didn't have water, I was like, okay, what's wrong with this picture? So I went back and found the contract that person signed. And unfortunately, the contract that person made with the BRA, and that's who gives you consent. You build a dock, and then you get to pay them thereafter. But the contracted person signed a document that said that the water level will not be constant, and that it might actually go down as much as 17 feet. Now, what do you think? I just about fainted when I read that. 17 feet.
Well, isn't that where we're at?
No, we're at 6 feet. 6 feet. We're not even close to 17 feet, but they signed the contract, and that's what the BRA holds us to, holds me to.
Is there one contract? Or
Well,
is
the
there?
contract, you know, everyone signs the same contract. I mean, it gives the lot, your lot number, your dock number, you know, you have a permit number.
We're in an HOA and we can no longer water our grass or
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care.
so
So,
there's one contract for the HOA?
no, you, each house, each dock owner, each water user, the dock usage and the water usage is under one contract, individually. That's what I know.
I will say this, just a real quick, since you've only been here a very short time. Initially, the problem that we had, what we have now is different than what we had 5 or 6 years ago. And most everybody knows this is because they shut down the water, the dam at PK are not allowing water to us. That's the short of it is. And they don't plan on giving us the water that we once enjoyed. And then the BRA will admit to that. If, you know, BRA's here, they know they're not going to give us as much water as we enjoy. Just today, I got historical analysis of PK versus Granbury all the way back to 1970 and what the drop of the level was. There's one drop in somewhere in about 1980. I was looking at my phone on the way here, so I wasn't there, where PK got down 30 feet. Anybody familiar with that? When was that? 1975, 80? 30 feet. 30 feet. Do you know how low Granbury was? If they're 30 feet, how low would we be?
We'd be walking in the middle.
Okay, we were 6 feet. The same we are today. So today, PK is down 9 feet, and we're down the same historic low of that 6 feet from 30. They're not delivering us water. Is the problem. So you go back to the history and the drops in PK about 3 to 4 times, 20 feet, 20 feet. Granbury's down 3 feet or 4 feet. Now look at it. The last 4 out of 5 years, we've been down 4 out of the last 5 summers, somewhere between 4 and 6 feet, and PK has been down somewhere between 5 and about 9, about what they are now. We're on about a 2 to 1 drop to what they are. That's the BRA's plan. And then I'm going to make the short of it. Why do they want to do that? Why do they want to hold water back at PK? The short of it is because they want more water to sell. They want to go capture it out of PK. We have it available. There's a plan behind all this. I mean, it goes right in order. And they've already taken 2 or 3 steps. And one of the steps was to shut down the hydroelectric plant at PK because they claimed when they were losing money, you know, running the plant. But the plan was that they wanted to hold it back to go capture more water. They can go back to the state, TCEQ. TCEQ says, hey, where are you going to get the water? It's available at PK. Whatever PK does, we do. If they go down a foot, we go down a foot. So we have to, now that with the drawdown that they have, which is 1 to 1 today, when PK, if we lose water, she's saying to wrap up. I will want to say one thing. Any other questions real quick?
Now, what's the depth of PK compared to Granbury though?
Okay, I'm after, first of all, PK is 4 times the size. Wayne already said that. They have a 500 stuff. I don't know what the depth is.
A lot deeper.
They're about 80, 100 feet, something like that. But the depth isn't as important as the capacity.
Depth doesn't matter.
Hey, Joe, I got it.
Okay, let's get this real quick.
First of all, it's a fact that BRA empties over 6 million
Yes.
acre feet
Yeah.
of water into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, yeah,
The capacity of Lake Granbury is 2% of that.
right,
So,
exactly.
now,
Yeah.
a couple other things.
Okay,
The objective here is to get people to pay fees,
Right.
pay their dues,
right,
and to get volunteers to
Right.
work on this committee.
sure.
Right?
Yes, yeah. Now what we'll do here, we're going to adjourn here in a minute. I have one question I promised I asked. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a statement. I sent in my BRA bill.
Yes,
I sent them half.
right,
I sent them a letter
yes,
and said the lake has been half full for the
right.
past 2 years.
Good for you. Now what
You're
happened?
only getting half. They sent it back and said, we do not take partial payment.
Yeah.
I wish everybody would do that.
Yeah.
We don't take partial water
They
either.
don't pay me much. Go ahead, Jim.
Another point is, they also contract their acre feet.
Yes.
actually to sell more water than they have access to.
Yes, yeah, they double dip where they're selling water, they don't, you know, it gets complicated. The short of it is they're not delivering us so much water as they used to us, and they're gonna continue that way unless we stand up. Yes?
Do you know what type of contracts are now being signed at PK now that they got fee simple ownership there?
You mean over there where they sold the land?
Yeah.
I don't.
It'd be important, because those agreements are recent.
Everybody get together.
Yeah. And I got a thing from the BR today that they actually have not formally decommissioned the PK plant. So anyway. Okay, we're ready to wrap up. Judy's gonna wrap it up, because she knows how to do it well.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate that the people that signed, that they wanted to be involved in the committee, if you want to come over here and just meet briefly, 5 minutes, we want to try to set up another meeting a week from now. Do you remember who signed up to help on the committee?
Who signed up? Committee.
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands.
Gotta get more.
Okay. I wanted to thank everyone so much for being here tonight. What, you didn't get to sign?
No, can I just ask one really quick question?
No.
Okay. Quick question. I've noticed that there's more than one organization. We have the SaveLakeGranbury.org. I noticed they're raising funds. Are they going to be able to bring? Are you going to be able to bring them in towards a unified front, or do we support?
It's us.
It is the same group.
Yes.
I was confused.
Yes.
Don't be confused.
Okay.
We did that so that the people that didn't like Lake Granbury waterfront owners and friends, because it's too long and too much to say, Save Lake Granbury, we thought that would get their attention, and it has.
Marketing.
Marketing. Thank you so much, everyone. We're all in this together.